Alright guys, welcome back. Today we are going to be installing the new upgraded oil cooler to full flow oil cooler from Z1. I'm super excited. I mean, you can say this starts the build, I guess you could say, for all of the supporting mods for the block that we're going to be building for the power that we're going to be looking for. So yeah, super excited. So I'm not going to bore you with a lot of the other stuff as far as just taking all the shit out of the car, because we all know how much prep goes into simply just, installing an oil cooler. You literally have to strip the car so you have room to play. So you can see, so there is, nope, you can't see because I'm not bringing the light underneath with me, but you got the stock intercooler right there in the front. And Z1 sent over, you got your supplemental bypass hose, you've got your braided lines, the new bracket, hardware for the bracket, sandwich plate, and then we have got the Cetra oil cooler. So super cool. Excited to install it, and I'll take you guys through it. I will have light under there with me so that you can actually see. But thanks for checking out the video, and stay tuned. Hopefully this helps out. Also, please like, please subscribe. It really helps me out, guys. There's literally, if I look at my, the stupid analytic BS that YouTube plays, 95% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed. So please help me out. Just like, subscribe, and stay tuned because there's a ton of stuff coming. So let's, I'm going to continue. I got to drain the oil first. So let me do that. I'm not going to bore you with that. And then we'll continue with the install. All right, actually, before I even jump into the oil cooler, here's a little tip trick, if you want to call it that, I guess. But there's this plastic piece that runs along the back of the bumper, and it does it for the stock bumper as well too. And really, obviously, what it does is it helps to protect that no water gets in there. It's not sucked up by the intakes that are here, obviously. Well, I don't drive in water or rain ever. Even if there's a slight chance, I will not drive the car. So I'm going to, as you can see, there are two tiny holes there, and then one right in the middle there. I'm actually going to take my drill. First off, I'm going to smooth it out so it doesn't look so crappy, and I am going to drill a few more holes just to allow more airflow, because really what it does, it sits right in front of the intakes, and I'm sure that definitely limits the amount of airflow, of course. So it doesn't make sense as a performance aspect, so let me do that real quick. But yeah, look into doing that. If you ever have the intakes off, nose panel off, put a few holes in it. Alright guys, so we got the oil all drained out, and now I'm going to take the sandwich plate, and I'm going to screw that on to there. At first I was like, how the hell is that gonna fit? That's not gonna fit. But this little piece comes out, and this is what's actually screwing on, and it's acting like a sandwich for where the hoses are going to be running. So let me do that real quick. I do need two hands. Make sure I don't drop this in the oil that I do have sitting right here. So let me do that real quick, and we'll go from there. Alright, so there is the stock oil cooler, and now we're going to remove that. So I've got these three screws right here holding in the bracket. Looks like there's one screw here that's also holding it in. Just looks like it's part of the bracket. And then on the top, you have the two lines that run from it. So I'm going to start by taking the bracket off, and yeah, we'll figure it out. We're going to go along and figure it out. So Alright guys, so stock oil filter, or I'm sorry, oil cooler is out. That was the bracket for it right there, which that's gonna end up coming out as well too. And then down there you could see that hard line up top, and then below it those two hard lines, that is where the rubber hoses connect. Z1 Motorsports says to remove all 4 rubber hoses. Obviously only 2 come on the actual oil filter. Look how tiny that is. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. So tiny. But so obviously 2 come on the oil filter, and then so off of the actual oil pan, you are removing this hose. Can you see? Yes, sorry. So that hose right there, that's gonna leave a little nipple, and then I don't know if you can really see, but off of the tree up there, the oil tree, you are going to be removing that one. Oh nice, I did get it. Alright, so you can remove that one. So once you have those removed, that's where you're taking that supplemental line that they provide you, and you're going to connect the tree to the oil pan, and that's going to help with the back pressure and everything along those lines. But just so you know, those are the 4 lines that they talk about. I had no idea, because 2 come on the oil filter and they didn't really explain it. No worries, simple call, they're very helpful. So but yeah, easy enough. So we got the oil filter out. Let me remove the bracket, which is pretty easy. The oil filter in general was just 3 bolts. 3 bolts there on the bottom to get the filter out, and now I'm just going to remove that bracket, and then we can get to the install portion. So also too, I forgot to mention, so those hard lines that we left down there, those 2 hard lines, they can actually stay. To try and route those out is pretty ridiculous. A lot of people end up cutting them to like try to be able to pull them out and such. But just so you do know, if you are able to keep them in one piece, according to Z1, they are worth a pretty penny if you resell them on eBay. So, but yeah, just so you know, I'm probably going to be leaving them there, just because they weigh an ounce maybe, and if there's no, you know, I'm not going to be able to find all the bolts and stuff. Maybe when we pull the motor to replace it, then I'll be able to actually see what is going on down there, and I can pull them out. So just so you know, to get to the 4 bolts on the bracket that we need to save for the new bracket, I had to move my fan, which is just those 2 bolts right there. They're 10 millimeters. And the reason for that, ouch, is because the fan literally sits on top of the bolts. So you can access 2, but you can't get to all 4. So now I have room. I can actually lift the fan up, and I can get to all 4 bolts. I already have 2 out. You can see 1 back there, and the other one back there. So okay. So I'm going to try to show you the route of this so you don't struggle the way that I did. But so you're removing that line, and where is it? Oh yeah, there you go. See the nipple right there? Boop. So that nipple right there, that comes off. You could just take a wrench and take that off, and that's where, again, we're going to attach the supplemental bypass hose that they give us. So it's going to screw in up there in the tree, oil tree, and it's going to attach right here into the oil pan. So those lines route, they end up finding themselves together kind of over the rack and pinion here. It's all hidden though, you can't see anything, and they route
to the just behind the radiator. I'm not finding it for you. There you go. To those two hard lines. So those two hard lines are what were on the front of the car on the other side of the radiator over here, that the oil cooler was routed to. So you're supposed to remove those hard lines. I am not. They are supposedly a massive pain in the ass. So I'm not even going to waste them. I'm just going to leave them in. So next we can install the actual cooler. And then we can run the braided lines, and then we'll run the supplement line and fill everything up, and hopefully the car doesn't blow up. So should be good to go. But I will take you step by step. That was a pain in the ass. That literally took me a little bit. So, but yeah, on to the next. I'll take you with me. Give me a second to gather myself and breathe. All right, so that was a lot longer than expected. But I just finished putting kind of most of the car back together. So you can see the new braided line right there. You could see the new oil cooler back there. Here, let me take you underneath. Give me 1 second. So as you can see, I have my lines both running through there. So my lines come around here, which I'm just honestly not too ecstatic about, because there is literally no way for it to come in between the intercooler piping and the radiator. Like literally, I don't know what Z1 is talking about, but there is zero possibility. I did try routing it through here, which could be done, but then these wires are not long enough. So I'm going to be living with this, which is okay. I'm okay with it. It's not like it would ever scrape or anything like that, but I have them routed just like that to the sandwich adapter. So that is all in place. If you follow this Z1 hose up there, that goes up to the supplemental bypass, and that brings it directly here to the tank. I'm going to tell you, don't listen to Z1 directions at least. Put this in before you put these lines in. That up there is, I'm in shock that it's not dripping oil. I just don't. Yeah, I have no idea how I was able to tighten that down, but somehow I did over 2 hours just to put that simple hose in. But it does need to be done because it helps with the oil pressure, and you don't want to screw that up. So, but yeah, so you can see sandwich plate, lines, and then again, not happy about it, but then they route up to the new oil cooler. So that is where we're at for now. There are no leaks. I did start it up. No leaks. Started up a few times actually because I wanted to make sure, but now I'm just putting everything back together. Don't forget to put your MAF sensors on, because then when you start it up, your air fuel ratio is going to be way off, and you're going to be like, what the hell just happened? Not that I did that, but I'm just saying. So make sure you plug those in as well too. And yeah, so that being said, we can wrap this up. It was exhausting. Have the whole day to do it. If you're not using a lift or anything like that, and you are on your back the entire time, but so much better for the car. And like I said, this actually starts the build, so to speak, to reach the horsepower number that we were looking for. We cannot do it without the intercooler, or I'm sorry, without the oil cooler. So this truly is step one to making that 700 horsepower number. So other than that, I really appreciate you guys checking out the video. Please like, please subscribe, leave comments. If you have any suggestions, let me know, especially about routing those wires,
are those hose lines. Again, they're gonna be fine, but they're just not pretty. I like it when it's pretty. So, all right, guys, I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for tuning in.